Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is UltimateE and I'm Sport. We bring you the Battle of the Stars on this exciting Saturday evening once again on the iRacing series. We're here at the Nürburgring for round 3 of this unbelievable championship we've had. I'm Anjan Ashwath and I'm joined alongside Arman Ibrahim this time. Arman, how are you doing? It's good to have you back after a day's break. Or maybe not so much, but yeah.
Yeah, we've had the last 24 hours off, no, but not really off. But yeah, it's great to be back. After 2 days of some intense racing. It's two very different circuits that we've been on, Okayama and then Spa, completely different characteristics, which changes the whole output of the two races as well. And now we're here at the Nürburgring GP circuit. Obviously, we're on the WEC and GT layout. Since we're in that type of cars, but it's great to be at this historic venue. We just kicked off qualifying. So let's see what happens, Anjan.
All right, if you're just joining us, like Arman said, we've just kicked off qualifying. We're going to have a 10-minute qualifying session. That's going to be followed by a 30-minute race. This time on a rolling start as well. We've messed up yesterday with a little bit of a standing start. Hopefully today we get the rolling start. No more chaos in the first corner. But here, excuse me, at the Nürburgring, we're here for round 3. And if you've been following us through and through the last couple of days, this is M Sport and UltimateE brings you Battle of the Stars, where the winners get to actually go from sim racing to the real world, where they get to take part. They actually have a chance to win a weekend in the Formula LGB series, the X30 karts, a weekend with the Racing Academy or the Karting Academy, depending on which tires they are. And as I talk about the tires, we are running 2 tires as well as we did the last 2 days, Tire 1 and Tire 2. The Tire 1 ran with GTE cars, Ritesh Rai, Sai Prithvi, who's been not too shabby the last couple of rounds, giving Amit Kuti a run for his money. Then Varun Shah, Sohil Shah, who put on the podium yesterday. Brilliant to see him up there. Tejasvi Shetty, Ankit Roy, Sai Sanjay, Sai Saran and Banu Teja. Banu Teja has been brilliant through and through, very consistent in the mid-pack. Let's see if we can put on the podium again today if we can. In Tire 2, the GT3 class, we've got Dylan Zakaria, Aditya Iyer, who's been brilliant here, who's had a brilliant showing the last couple of days. But Subarno Majumdar has taken the spoils, unfortunately, and taken that win away from him when he deserved it yesterday. Then he's joined by Rohit Raut, Avinash Gupta, Ghanshyam Tiwari, Prasanna Rajan, who I'm sure he's keen to get on and show these GT3 boys what he's all about. Gaurav Matthew, Harsh T, Akunuri Abhilash and Surya Prakash joining them today as well in the GT3 series. Arman, this cast of characters with 5 minutes left to go into qualifying, we've seen them battle it out. Yes, we spoke about them the first day out in Okayama, where they were quite nice and kind to each other. Yesterday we saw them there with their elbows out, and today I think day 3 with everything to fight for and the championship being as wide as it open as it is, I can only expect a bloodbath.
But again, have you noticed that when Okayama didn't have many runoff areas, and it was just old school. It was an old school circuit with gravel traps and the grass as the runoff areas. So the drivers had to behave themselves. They knew that once they run wide, that's it for them. They're going to lose a lot of time. And then we go to this really high speed venue, which is Spa-Francorchamps, and then you've got a lot of runoff areas with tarmac. And so the guys, started flexing a bit and got too carried away, and that's when the incidents and the mistakes took place. But coming back to Nürburgring, as you can see, we're following Amit on board right now, and there aren't many real runoff areas as such like Spa. So I think here they would be a little more respectful in terms of, or less desperate, I would say, in terms of the selection in terms of making a move and how they position their car, they position themselves through the race. So I'm expecting a clear race, but again, we'll have to wait and see because as we get closer to the end of the championship, again, everyone wants to get that prize, So desperation does kick in, or that eagerness does kick in. So we'll have to wait and watch what happens. But up at the front of the field, you have the championship leader, Sai Sanjay, who's again, right now on provisional pole. Let's see if the other favorites, as Sai Prithvi is 6/10 behind him, so that's quite a big gap there. And Tejasvi another 2/10 further behind from Sai Prithvi as well. So Sai Sanjay, right now very comfortably on top, with no one really putting too much pressure in terms of disrupting of pole.
Absolutely, because of course, again, what we also have to look out for Arman this time out is track limits, because a couple of these guys did get their track times cancelled yesterday, start from the back of the grid. Excuse me, but didn't have enough time to make up. But what we're also going to see this time out, Arman, if you noticed in practice, towards the end of practice, the top 8 of the GTE were all covered by 1 second. So these guys definitely have the pace. and they definitely know what they're doing on this track. They seem to have a lot of practice here, but Ahmed Kuti this time out, I mean, we've always had him at the top of the field through and through the last couple of months we've been racing at UltimateE. But this time out, this particular series, he seems to look a bit off the pace because Sai Sanjay, Sai Prithvi, Sohail Shah, all of them taking it to him this time out.
No, I mean, I think they've just been a little more consistent. Pace-wise, I think they've all been pretty evenly matched, at some session or the other. But they've just been a little more consistent in the last two races. That's made the biggest difference. When the racing is so close, it's the consistency that separates the winners from the rest of the pack really, and that's what we're seeing.
As you'd want to say at some point, but yeah. I completely get it, Arman, because I completely get what you're saying. Consistency over the course of 30 minutes. While it seems like such a short period of time when we're commentating and time goes by so quickly, it isn't really easy to keep your head on 30 minutes straight.
While saying that, Amit's just gone quickest by a whole attempt. So
purple, yeah.
And we've got about less than 3 minutes left. So let's see what happens. I mean, another person in the GT3 category who I'm very impressed with, and I'm wondering what's going on, is Surya Prakash, who's been
the only outing on the track, actually, Arman.
That's true, and he's improved heaps and bounds this weekend. So I really need to speak to him after this and find out what he's really found and how he's found out that pace. But I'm so happy to see him there in the top two, just behind Akunuri, Abhilash. And then you have Dylan in third there. But
I wonder what happened to Aditya Iyer, Avinash Gupta, Sabarna Majumdar. These are the guys who had the pace, but look how close it is, Arman. Between them in the GT3 class, there's absolutely nothing in it.
I mean, in the GT3 class, there's about half a second difference between first and second, and then from second onwards to fifth, it's really close. As we see Rohit Rao just going to second there. But if you look at the GTE class, where the pros are, Sai Sanjay's taken P1 again with a 48.988, which is less 0.061 quicker than Amit. So they're within a tenth there, and they're clearly 7 tenths ahead of Sai Prithvi. So these two again battling it out. So we've got a minute left. I mean, they're probably on the last flying up. Might be able to eke out one more lap. So it's all to play for you. Who's going to get that pole position? I mean, they both are comfortably on the front row though.
And there's, like you said, there's about 600s in it between the two of them right now. Sanjay already looks like he's gone in the pit lane. He's happy with that lap. I don't think he's going to come back out. But Ahmed Kuti is still on track and still seeing if he can improve his time. We're on board right now with Surya Prakash following him around. Third right now in that Audi, the only Audi, like we said, on the track right now. So maybe the Audi it's suiting his driving style right here. And this track probably suits him a lot. Because yesterday he was driving under the guise of who? I think it was Sai Saran, if I'm right, under his account. But today he's out as Surya Prakash, so we're going to see him driving around. And like Arman said, he's put that car on pole now, Arman, with a 156.9.
I am so pleasantly surprised, but that's superb that we see that. I mean, again, less than a 10 quicker than Akunuri, but that's a super effort there.
Super effort. Akunuri is what, 200s behind him, and 210s behind them is Subarno Majumdar. But I wonder what's happened to Aditya Iyer today as we just finished qualifying, Arman. But he does. Surya Prakash does put the car on pole. Dylan Zakaria is not going to be happy looking at that timing screen right now of his buddy Surya Prakash there. But as we go through GTE category, Sai Sanjay on pole, Amit Kuti second, Sai Prithvi starting third, Sohail Shah starting fourth, Tejasvi Sethi, then Banu Taneja, Sai Saran and Varun Shah. This is a great pack, Arman. And between the top four, there was a necessary second covering them right now. If you look at this pack, the top six, there's a second covering them. But Surya Prakash, out of nowhere in that Audi, a 156.9, absolutely nailing with Akunuri Abhilash starting second, Sabarno Majumdar third, Rohit Rao fourth, Dylan Zakaria almost 6 tenths behind Surya Prakash in fifth place. Driving 2 days straight, wondering what's happened to him today. Avinash Gupta, Aditya Iyer, both these guys we know have a huge amount of pace in 6th and 7th. Prasanna Rajan Nath will be gearing to show what he can do from there. And in 9th then, Gokul Tiwari, but big surprise, Arman, Surya Prakash on pole for the G3 class.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, as you see them line up on the grids, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, today is a rolling start. So all smiles there. So the guys have a little bit of time to get their tires and brakes warmed up as they, as they get on the formation, on this half a formation lap basically, where before the safety car pulls in, and then they will they will basically go on this 2x2 formation onto the start finish line where the lights will go green and they can start racing. So right now, as they all get loaded up there, we can see them all getting loaded up on our screen. We've got, I think, a really close race right up and down the field in both categories. I mean, it's quite mixed up in GT3, so that's gonna create a bit of drama, I feel, which is gonna make our lives a little bit entertaining. But yeah, up in front, I think the top two in the GTE category, both in BMWs, are gonna have a fight right through the race. Don't miss out on Sai Prithvi and Soul Shah as well. In the race they come strong.
Sure, Soul Shah always shows his true colors during the race, and the rolling start as a safety car now is leading the pack away. These guys are going to have half a lap to get their brakes and tires warmed up. As Arman said, the safety car will then peel away into the pit lane, and we will go racing over the next 30 minutes. There's a mandatory pit stop involved, so not everything is won in the first corner. There's going to be a lot to fight for over the next 30 minutes, and a lot is at stake, especially drives in an actual real race, real world seat at M Sport in a Formula LGB or the X30 cars or the Racing Academy. As Sai Sanjay now leads them across the last chicane, now the safety car will peel away into the pit lane, and then they will go racing very, very shortly. But as we see now with Sai Sanjay there, he's bunching up the field. Amit Kuti already around him, and Sai Sanjay, an early start, gets away very, very well. I think he got everybody napping behind him. Sai Prithvi, Amit Kuti as well behind them, napping as well, but down as well. You can see now down into the first lane as we now the green lights come on. Sai Sanjay brilliantly executed that move into the first corner. Superbly done, has that gap and has it done, but Sai Prithvi then takes that place back from Amit Kuti. Amit Kuti, Sai Prithvi locked in a little bit of a battle as we go into the second and third corners on this beautiful Nürburgring track, with both of them now around the outside. Oh, then Amit Kuti has lost it completely on his own. He went into that corner a little too hard and completely wiped out. Amit Kuti now dropping down the field all the way back to the back almost now. He's going to have a lot of work to do to catch up from there, and Sohul Shah now inherits third place, so he's got a win in his sights this time out, because he was finished second on the podium just almost. There we go. That was a replay of Amit Kuti. We can see him there all the way. Surya Prakash. That's Surya Prakash languishing down there in the GT3 class. He's still in the lead of the rest. That's Surya Prakash has a little bit of he has lit up his red tires and has a big moment. Surya Prakash, after that brilliant one on pole, he's now dropped down all the way to the back of the field. Dylan Zachary as well making mistakes. Avinash Gupta as well making another mistake. So GT3, a lot happening in the class behind them right now. On board with Sohul Shah. Arman, this first lap, there has been everybody going up and down the order, and everything has changed within a couple of corners.
I agree, Arjun. Unfortunately, a bit of the commentators curse striking striking heavily. I mean, in the GTE category, we saw that. Amit just had to wait yet half an hour. But try going around the outside, and on the first lap, your tires are not up to temperature, and going on the outside, you have a lot of fuel as well, as we see these two guys. But you have a lot of fuel as well. So with the heavy car, it's just rolled around, just as he got off the brakes, and it's gonna be a long race now for trying to fight back. But yeah, in the GT3 class, Surya had a really good start. He had a couple of car lengths of a gap to second position, and then lost it all by himself in turn 2. In turn 3. But costly mistake there. But I think there were a few mistakes. I mean, a few people ran wide here and there. So they're still fairly close to one another. So it's still a little bit of an open race, I'd say.
Absolutely, because Dylan Zachary is already visiting the pit lane early today. He did 4 pit stops yesterday. So a friend of the pit lane he is, and he's already visiting the pit lane. So hopefully, let's see what the strategies play out. We can learn a little bit from Sohul Shah, who did a early pit stop yesterday and came out and put that car on the podium. Brilliant to see that happen. But right now, we're on board now with Tejashwi Shetty, as he's followed by Banu Teja and Sai Saran and Varun Shah. And Amit Kuti as well, who's catching this train behind him. Amit Kuti's got a lot of work to do if he wants to catch the leading pair, because up in front right now, Arman, if you look at the timing screens, there's less than half a second now between Sai Sanjay and Sai Prithvi. So Sai Prithvi and he's dropped Sohul Shah now by about 2 seconds off. So Sohul's not able to hold on, and he's got Tejashwi Shetty and Banu Teja for company as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Sai's got about a 7-10 gap, but and he's got Sai Prithvi right close within a second off him. But if you look at Sohul Shah is about 2.3 seconds behind Sai Prithvi, but then he's really closely followed by Tejasvi Shetty and Banu Teja. So anything can happen. Yeah, you see the two BMWs
there, yeah.
up trying to fight back through the field, but it's not going to be easy because no one's just going to let him go, you know. So there are
He's
fights
fighting
happening.
for position, absolutely.
There are battles happening right from between third and fifth.
Now, Amit Kuti has actually got 3 seconds ahead of him now. He's got Sai Saran to contend with right up the road ahead of him. He's got Sai Saran, but 4 seconds ahead of him now to the podium positions. There's absolutely nothing in it for Amit Kuti. So he seems to be putting the pressure on these guys, trying to make that time back up. Down in the GT3 classes, Akunuri Abhilash now leads them with a 158.2, but behind him, Rohit Raut, a 157.9. So he's on the pace right now and closing in very hard. But Tejasvi Shetty there in 4th place, having a big spin and losing that place to Banu Teja. He managed to keep that car in line and in track and bring it back, but losing a place to Banu Teja. And this is going to bring Sai Saran and Amit Kuti into the battle again. Now here, I think we're on the replay right now. Is that Avinash Gupta? Yeah, we're on replay with Avinash Gupta. He's only carrying heavy damage on his bonnet, Arman. As we see, he's going down into turn number 1. He's just going to lose it and pivots around that corner. Very easy to lose that corner on the front end with no traction control on, Arman.
Oh, definitely. I mean, no, the G3 cars do run traction control, but I think he just tried to carry a little too much brake. What happens in turn 1 is that it dips away from you. It's an off-camber corner, so if you turn in too late, you go. I mean, you know, your front right really lifts up, and then the rear snaps around. So that's exactly what happened. You know, Avinash was just messaging me earlier today saying, yesterday's pit stop, he made a bit of a blunder there, and he was really charged up for today's race, but unfortunately, it hasn't worked out so far. But let's hope he can make a comeback. Going back to, I think we should just go back to GTEs because that seems to be a lot of action going on there, especially in terms of the final podium slot there, right from Sohail down to.
You're saying that I think there's a battle now between Akunuri Abhilash and Rohit Raut for first and second on in the GT3 class, but Sohail Shah, we're on board with him right now. That's Rohit Raut. There we go. We're on back. Going to stop for a second, wait for our broadcast to settle down, and there we go. Sohail Shah. We're settling down with Sohail Shah. He's now in 3rd place, back up in the podium spots, Arman. So again, locking up as he goes into that corner. It's going to cost him a little bit of time because right now behind him, Banu Teja looking very racy in the Porsche behind him, Arman, and in the BMW behind him.
Yeah, and I mean, I think not that Tejasvi's mistake didn't cost him that much. Yeah, he lost the place, but with that half a spin, he didn't lose any more. You know, he's still in the thick of it, and he's got the podium. He's got a podium position in his sights. So yeah, mistake that could have cost a lot. He's gotten away with it. So yeah, not too shabby there. But yeah, there you see. You see Banu just running a bit too deep into the corner. Definitely lost a bit of time in the exit there, coming through the fast left and right hander.
He does lose a little bit of time because Sohail Shah now trying to settle down, trying to control this pack here in that position. He's got 3 seconds now ahead of him. His side Prithvi, so there's a lot for him to gain from this battle, but a pit stop now, that's where it's all going to come into play in about 10 minutes time when these guys will pit, and they will pit for tires, fuel, and when they do that, that's when things will turn on its head. And at the moment in the GT3 class, Rohit Raut now within half a second in Akunuri Abhilash's slipstream at the moment, following him around all over his gearbox in that Ferrari. This is a Ferrari against the Mercedes, so 2 completely different cars, powered by 2 completely different engines around this historic Nürburgring circuit, Arman. But these 2 guys now, Rohit Raut, we haven't seen too much of him the last 2 days. And Akunuri Abhilash fighting it up now. These 2 guys fighting at the pointy end of the field, which is great to see because Subarno Majumdar is about 2.8 seconds behind him, and the championship leader that he is can actually make up this little bit of time if these 2 guys start battling it out.
Oh, definitely. I mean, but also it's good that it mixes things up, you know, and it's also given Aditya a chance to try and claw his way back because he had a disastrous race yesterday, and now and not a very strong qualifying in today's race, but he's managed to find his way back up to 5th and not too far behind Subarno. So there's something for him to fight for as well. Here we've got a replay going on with Arun Shah. Turning turn 1, let's see what happens.
He's gonna pivot around that little corner like everybody.
Oh,
He's got into the straight. Who is he got into? There's another BMW. I'm not sure who. Sai Saran not having a very good day today. But Varun Shah has also picked up a little bit of damage there on the front of his BMW. Unfortunately, Banu Taneja looks like he's made up that spot ahead of Tejasvi Shetty. I just saw them switching around, so he's gone up into 4th place. Tejasvi Shetty dropping down in the 5th place. Amit Kuti now 3.6 seconds behind the 4th and 5th pair. But so Shah, I think he's got Banu Teja and Tejasvi Shetty for company, and that's going to be a long race for him with Soul Shah trying to defend, because the ever opportunistic Soul Shah has always inherited those positions. And today, Arman, he's got to make it work, and if he's going to make it work, he's going to make it work very hard, because these two guys.
Yeah. Now I feel like it's going to turn to a 3. Oh, he's flying past, but he's gone too wide. He's gone too wide. He's too wide there. He was catching him. He had all the pace there was. He just needed to be a little patient.
And now he's Tejasvi Shetty. He's gotten in the hands of Tejasvi Shetty right now, because it's going to be opportunistic for him if he can make that place up. Tejasvi Shetty on Banu Teja, just not able to happen. He's going to make that move stick. Not yet. He's really close to him. Trying to make the.
Are they going to touch?
They do touch. But these two beamers
just a little tap. The beamer's a big car. You're not going to feel that.
Tanks, as you like to call them, Arman.
It is an absolute tank.
But they do look spectacular around this track right now with their lights on. In this beautiful Nürburgring circuit. We're on board now with Rohit Raut, who's closed the gap up now to Akunuri Abhilash. And this is what he's got to contend with, because I think in front of him he's got Dylan's. I think is that Dylan Zaki? I'm not too sure who there is in front of him. Might be Gokul Tiwari actually. In front of him right now is a back marker. So we're still waiting to see now if he can make this move stick, because Rohit Raut has been very patient, Arman, behind Akunuri Abhilash.
You see all of them running wide here. They're all running wide into turn 1, and very hairy at the to put the throttle down, because they're nowhere close to the apex. But the surprising thing is that all three missed the apex by a mile, and that's what.
Absolutely, because right behind him now, I think that's also given Sabarno Majumdar now is coming into this battle as well. Arman, so the GT3 class heating up now in 10 minutes into this race, with 20 minutes left for racing, still a ton of racing left to go. But now Sabarno Majumdar in this battle as well, along with Rohit Raut and Akunuri Abhilash for this place. And Rohit Raut is going to make the move.
They both have run wide. They both have run wide. I think that's Sabarno on the lead.
That's Rohit Raut who's gone in the lead. Akunuri Abhilash, I think, ran a little bit wide there, which is going to now give Sabarno a run into these two guys right now, because Sabarno, we know, has the pace. He's been super quick the last couple of races, and this time out, he's going to have a lot of work to do now, with about 18 minutes of racing to go now, Herman.
Yeah, I mean, it's just topsy-turvy. I mean, there's so many positions being swapped right through the field in both categories that it's really good. I think our broadcasters having a hell of a time keeping track of who's doing what, really.
Brewing between Banu Teja and Tejasvi Shetty. They're just swapping positions on my timing streams constantly. But there we go. That's Tejasvi Shetty right now. We're following him around. But he seems to have lost a little bit of time to Banu Teja up ahead. I wonder what's happened there, because these two guys have been battling up and down through the last 12 minutes of racing that we've had here at this Nürburgring circuit. Up ahead now, Sai Sanjay controlling the pack in the BMW, with Sai Prithvi in the Ferrari 3.5 seconds behind Soul Shah in the Porsche, then 3.7 seconds behind him. And Banu Teja now in that little bit of a fight with Tejasvi Shetty, half a second separating these two guys in 4th and 5th. Now nothing in it, and there we go. Soul Shah now. Banu Teja is now on Soul Shah's gearbox. He's got the inside. Is he gonna? He did grip, but these two guys now side by side. Soul's got his elbows out. He's not gonna get that place done easily. But Banu Teja, a little more grip around the inside. Now the line will convert to the outside, and Soul Shah sticks to the inside. Both these guys, and he runs wide. He pushes them wide there. Banu Teja and Amit Kuti, I think, might just inherit that place as well. He does, because Amit Kuti now is in that battle, Arman. But Soul Shah now.
It's a battle. Like I told you, it's a four-way battle going on. You know what? Soul
Shah's got the chicane. He's gone straight through.
He hits him. That's going to be a review there, because once you go off, you need to slow down. But unfortunately, Tejasvi Shetty's been knocked off, and hopefully he gets the car going again. But again, now that's gone back to Sohail versus Amit versus Banu, right behind one another. There you see it.
There we go. The three guys again.
Is he going to go on the outside, or is he going to do the cutback?
I think you might just do the cutback, Arman, because this is where
Banu Shetty as well there.
Banu Teja there as well. This guy is brilliant for the last spot on the podium. Banu Teja, Soul Shah, and Amit Kuji, all three battling through the Nürburgring circuit. Three of them, nothing in it. Oh, Teja! That was uncalled for Banu Teja. Amit Kuji, all that hard work to get there, but he's got a little bit of time to make up now. And I think the stewards, Arman, in the last 4 minutes.
It's going to be a busy night for Alzi and me. I can tell you that much. It's going to be a very busy night. But these are very evident incidents where you could see, Banu Teja slowed the car down earlier, but then got on the throttle so much earlier as well. And then while Amit was still braking to the corner, and then he just collected him. So yeah, I think on board within a span of 5 or 6 corners, there's been so much of action, but the gaps have opened up again now. So yeah.
Because our race leader from the GT3 category now, Akunori Abhilash, he's dived in the pit lane. There we go. It's a replay. Sohail Shah cutting that corner and bouncing Tejashi Shetty onto the grass. A little uncalled for Sohail Shah. Tejashi trying to make his move back on, but the gravel a little too slippery. He just spins that car around, losing huge amounts of races. Unfortunate for him. But here we go. We're back in it now. This is the third. This is the replay again. This is the instant between Amit Kuti and Banu Taneja. Banu then just gives Amit that little bit of a tap and spins him around. Oh, another thing completely uncalled for. Amit Kuti doesn't lose too much time there. He doesn't lose too much of a place there either. So he's got what now? 3.5 seconds rather to make up the Banu Taneja. So that's a little bit of work.
What he does is he immediately dives into the pit so that he doesn't waste any more time and try and do the undercut on the guys ahead. So by getting the stop down. Yeah.
Technically, if you've watched the timings, in 15 minutes, he's basically clawed back 7 seconds in odd in 15 minutes. So an undercut here and the pace he has just might be on the cards for a podium finish, or for a very close podium finish rather, right towards the end of this race.
For sure, but here we join our leader, Sai Sanjay. Again, second day in a row, such dominance from him. No one inside. I mean, he's so much quicker. He's built up a 5.1 second lead over Sai Prithvi here. Just untouchable, Sai Sanjay. I mean, in a league of his own, really. That wasn't the case in qualifying, but I told you, it's just about not making mistakes and getting all the basics right, and that's what he's done. And if you look at it now, it looks really dominant.
He's just looking consistent, not putting a foot wrong, but I don't want to say anything right now because every single time we start talking about someone, they're put in a gravel trap and it does not end well. So let's not. At the moment, we see Sai Sanjay as we're following him around board. Just quickly now, we're at the halfway mark of this round 3 of the UltimateE and M Sport Battle of the Stars. The winners from the sim racing world get to go into the real world and race in an M Sport seat in the Formula LGB, the X30 karts, or even take part in the Racing Academy. So Shah now coming under a little more pressure from Banu Taneja. Looks like that battle has not gone anywhere yet, Arman, because these two guys now at it again.
Let's see if Banu can actually plan his move this time. Just be a little more calm, take a deep breath, and just he has the pace. He's so quick, but he's just not able to, just plan that move. But he was
great. There we go. So in the pits now. Yeah.
So what Banu should do now is, use that pace to the advantage, and just try and put a couple of quali type laps in, and maybe then he might be able to make the overcut work where he comes out ahead of Sohail.
In the hope, he definitely looks like he has the pace in that BMW. He was really quick and looking super racy behind Sohail and Tejashi Shetty. But of course, the stewards are going to get involved in a couple of incidents that we've seen. They are under investigation at the moment. But as we go along now, we'll just run through the pack at the moment where everyone now is going to pit. So as we run through the pack, Sai Sanjay is still in the lead. Sai Prithvi, as with the man we're following, on board within second place, 6 seconds behind the leader. Sai Sanjay being very dominant, like Arman mentioned earlier, and consistent. Banu Teja inheriting third from Sohail Shah, who's dived in the pit lane, already made that pit stop. Sohail Shah in the pits. Amit Kuti has already also made that pit stop in 5th place. Varun Shah yet to make a pit stop in 6th. Tejashi Shetty already made a pit stop in 7th. And Rohit Raut now leading the GT3 class with Subarno Majumdar behind him. So the top 3 now in the GT3 class, Rohit, Sabarno and Aditya Iyer haven't pitted, but that's going to get Prasanna Rajan 32 seconds behind them, 34 seconds behind them. A little too much for him to do.
The GT3 leaders coming to the pits. The GT3 leaders both are in the pits together. So let's see, you can do a quicker stop. They're both, so there's no strategy. Both are in the pits together. Now it's just a fight till the finish really with these two.
Absolutely, it's a 12-minute battle, a sprint to the end, as you're going to see Rohit Raut now leading Sabarno Majumdar into the pit lane. The GT3 class is separated by absolutely nothing in it. I wonder if Aditya Iyer as well pitted to the top 3 now, Arman, in the pits. So this is going to get Prasanna Rajan. It's going to be a little opportunistic, a little too far away, I think, right now to inherit that lead. From Rohit Raut and Sabarno, but in the pit lane now, I want to see how they come out, because the last time they all went into pits, it didn't come out the same order they went in.
Oh, definitely. But I think what's happened here is, we never saw all three, the top 3 pitting together when they were so close to each other. Here they were running right behind one another on track, and I think they should be able to maintain their positions really. As we see the leader coming out with a reasonable gap, actually. I think he's going to be
Sabarno looks like Sabarno has taken a lot of time in the pits. What's happened to him? He's coming on. He's taken huge amounts of time in the pits and lost a lot of time, Arman. So like we just talked it, he came in the pits right behind Rohit Raut, but now Aditya Iyer is in second place with 8 seconds now behind Rohit Raut, and Prasanna Rajan now up in the podium positions. Nothing in it between Aditya Iyer and Prasanna Rajan for that second and third in the GT3 class at this point in time.
Oh, I mean, Sabarno is looking so strong to just go from strength to strength in terms of his championship tally, but this is going to put him back quite a bit, and it's going to help people like Aditya Iyer and things and to recover some points. And Rohit Raut, obviously, I mean, it's given him a big breather. But yeah, I wonder what happened to pits. Sometimes when before the drivers pit, they've got to select what needs to be done. They got to tell them whether they want tires or not, or is it just fuel. And if they forget to do that, the iRacing automatically does everything basically, and that costs a lot of time. So I wonder if he's just forgotten to select what exactly he wants when he makes a
It's so possible too. Sorry, I heard.
Yeah, so what we're hearing from race direction basically is that he had an increased pit time. Like what I was mentioning earlier as well, you got to manually stop that, which obviously he hasn't.
Well, there we go. You're in the sim world. You're unfortunately your own race engineer and your own race driver. You don't have anyone else doing it for you, unlike the real world. And that's why these guys can actually get to go to the real world and have engineers doing things for them while they focus on their driving. So Arman, we're back at it again now with 10 minutes left to go in this beautiful little race that we're having in round number 3 of UltimateE's and M Sports Battle of the Stars and the iRacing series with the GTE and the GT cars running about. With Sai Sanjay now 6 seconds, Arman, comfortable lead ahead of Sai Prithvi. Bhanu Teja has come out now ahead of Sohail Shah, who was in third for the longest time. To Sohail Shah, I think he's made a little bit of a mistake because he's dropped off about 30 seconds now.
No, basically,
there we go. They haven't made a pit stop. My bad. Yeah. So that's what I thought. The top 3 now haven't made a pit stop yet. So Bhanu Teja a little opportunistic right now. If you're going to take it a little longer than this, because how much longer do you think they have enough more? I mean, how much fuel do you think they have to carry this on, Arman, now?
Obviously, they've calculated the way that they're going to pit within the next 1 to 2 laps, not more than that. So within a couple of laps, you're going to see even the top 3 pitting, and obviously Varun as well. It says he's out actually of the race right now. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened there, but at least the top 3 are going to see them pitting within the next 2 maximum 3 laps. But I think within the 2 laps, you'll see them pitting.
That's what we're going to look forward to, because when they do pit, it's going to shake things up a bit, and we'll see if Bhanu Teja has made his overcut work now, because he's got 30 seconds between him and Sohail Shah at this point in time. So he could actually, in theory, if he has a quick pit stop, could make this work. Now in the GT3 class, Rohit Raut out in the lead. Aditya Iyer now up in a second place. So let's see if he can get himself a podium here today and bring that gap closer to Sabarno Majumdar, who lost a huge amount of time in the pit stops, now down in the 5th place. But Arman, 8 minutes to go in this race, and there we go. Sai Prithvi, the leaders of this, the overall leaders of the race, Sai Prithvi and Sai Sanjay, both now coming in the pit lane for their pit stop, followed as well by Bhanu Teja. So this is going to be close. This is something we need to keep an eye on.
Sai Sanjay is still out on track. It's just Sai Prithvi and Bhanu Teja have pitted. I think the other car was a GT3 who we saw coming in. But what's interesting now is going to be, is the overcut for Bhanu Teja going to work with Sohail or not? Is he going to come out ahead of Sohail, who did the undercut, or will we see Sohail coming across the start finish line? So I think Sohail's going to inherit 3rd place, and
Sohail has, there we go, he has, and Bhanu Teja has lost another place as well to Amit Kuti, so he's now dropped down 2 more places. Let's see how far he comes out of this pack right now, because right now Sohail Shah in that beautiful black and purple Porsche on the tail now of, who is that? Is he on the tail of, no, that's not Saipati.
It's a GT3. It's a GT3.
He just
lapped
them, yeah.
But you see,
behind them, Ahmed Kuti there, yeah. Ahmed Kuti there in the BMW, the red and black BMW, or the red and yellow and black BMW. Ahmed Kuti now on the tail of Sohail Shah. Sohail Shah, is Saipati out? Saipati's out. Sohail Shah is in second place. Ahmed Kuti is on third place. So what's happened there to Sai Prithvi, Arman?
Sai Prithvi, I mean, he's been having these Actually, I don't know what's happened to Sai Prithvi. It's again, the same thing happened yesterday as well. On the last lap, he had an issue with his connection, but I don't know. Unfortunately, it's happened a lot earlier today, and it says he's out. Hopefully, he gets connected again within this lap, and he can continue. Okay, he's lost a couple of positions, but hopefully, he gets to continue. But let's hope that's not the end of Sai Prithvi's race, but it looks that way as at the moment. That's really helped Sohail and Amit. That's really helped Sohail and Amit.
That helped Ahmed Kuti massively this time out, I think. Completely running in his favor, because he's got the pace now and less than a second between him and Sohail Shah. But now with Sai Sanjay in the pit lane, Sai Sanjay is going to exit the pit lane now as they come around the final bend, because it's not going to be enough for Sai Sanjay and Sohail Shah to catch up to Sai Sanjay ahead. Sai Sanjay in the pit exit now, 45 seconds ahead of this pack. Absolutely nothing for these guys to do. But Ahmed Kuti and Sohail Shah, this is going to be a battle to watch out for. The last two spots on the podium is going to come very close. Last 5 minutes of racing to go. But 30 seconds behind them, then Banu Taneja in 4th place. Tejas Shetty then in 5th place. So he's still got a lot of work to do from there. So the GTE class settling down very nicely as it seems. But right now, Arman, Prasanna Rajan, Atya Iyer, nothing in between these two guys, with Surya Prakash 1.8 seconds behind him. And now Prasanna Rajan is going to dive down the inside. It's going to be a tough move for him to keep that line. Well, now an opportunity around the outside. Oh, who is that? That's not Prasanna. Who's that in the BMW in front of them, who just hung his tail out? Brilliantly controlled there between the two of those guys. Prasanna Rajan there in the yellow Ferrari, holding his own now in 3rd place at the moment, with Surya Prakash right behind him, and Sabarna Majumdar sniffing another podium in the dying moments of this race. Again, Arman.
Is that the leader? There's a Ferrari slowing down on the side there. I wonder who that is.
This is a Ferrari. I think that's Dylan Zakaria. No, that's Dylan Arman. I think that's Dylan Zakaria, who's just getting lapped and slowing down on the side of the track there in the Ferrari. Well done, Dylan. Slowing down, letting the leaders go past. But right in the battle right now, Arman. Surya Prakash, Subarno Majumdar, and Prasanna Rajan. The last spot of the podium, the GTV class. Nothing in it. And between Ahmed Kuti and Sohail Shah, still less than a second in it between these guys. But Surya Prakash looking very racy now, Arman.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is a fight for the last spot on the podium. I mean, and both of them haven't been on the podium before, so they're both going to be gunning for it. And look who's sneaking up behind them. It's Sabarno, who had that mishap in the pit stop, but now he just kind of his drive's all about recovery for him. So
a big crash between Prasanna. It's Prasanna Rajan there. A huge crash for him. It's going to drop him back a couple of places, I think. Wasn't it? Oh, was that Tejas Shetty in that? It was Tejas Shetty's. What has happened there in that GTE class? With a lot of these guys now going off, Arman.
Yeah, let's try and get a replay there to see what happened to Tejas Shetty. Why did he slow down? So he went to the back. Oh, he lost it by himself. Just trying to go around the GTE car.
In the middle of the track, Prasanna's going to hit him straight. That is so unfortunate for Prasanna Rajan.
He was driving a really good race up until then. I mean, he just took advantage of all the mishaps that other people had, and then just when things were getting heated up, unfortunately there's a big made in the middle of the road there. Nowhere to go.
That is so unfortunate. Sabarna Majumdar, what's happened to him there? Is he having problems as well? But Sabarna Majumdar now is coming back in his 2nd place now, Arman. A couple of corners ago, he was down in the 5th place. But Sabarna now battling with
Aditya.
Yeah, he's battling
with Aditya. Aditya basically was slowed down. Aditya was going slow for some reason, unless it was Aditya and Surya who got tangled up, and then what's happened is Subarno's just taken advantage of all that, and he's regained whatever he lost really.
Oh, is that Surya Prakash? Oh, that is a replay. Sorry, I just got a little excited there. I thought Surya Prakash has gone down again, but yeah, I think now, as things settle down now, I'm on 2 minutes to go, as we always have, towards the closing stages now. Amit Kuti and Sohail Shah battling for the second and third on the podium spot. Second rather on the podium spots. Now Amit Kuti has never been closer to Sohail Shah, but Sohail Shah is driving an impeccable race right now. He's got a bit wide, and Amit Kuti is going to have a look around the outside, really around this corner. He's just not close enough, but now you can see everyone around the corners. Amit Kuti's got so much more speed than Sohail Shah in the Porsche, and the size difference of those cars, absolutely massive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but you could see them hanging up for dear life because the tires are at the end of the lifespan as well. But even the last lap, both of them were within a tenth of each other in terms of the lap time. So really matching each other's pace, and different parts of the circuit suits each of the cars better or affects them more. I'm sure the Porsche is stronger on the brakes, but the BM just able to carry more speed through the medium and faster corners. And then you see Sohail locking up, and that's forced Amit to run wide, and that's helped Sohail on the exit. But let's see if these guys can just keep the composure together and give us another. There's 30 seconds left in this race, so probably one more lap to go. Penultimate lap right now, and then there's the last lap after this. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely, because now Prasanna Rajan as well in the G3 class is back up on Surya Prakash's tail, so he's trying to make up a little bit of lost time. But right now, Sai Sanjay 18 seconds in the lead ahead of Amit Kuti, ahead of Sohail Shah, and Amit Kuti locked in battle for second on the grid right now. Banu Taneja in fourth place right now, 14 seconds behind these guys. Rohit Raut leading the GT3 class. Brilliantly driven by him, overall 5th place as well. Sabarno Majumdar, ever options taking 5th place, but these two guys now, Amit Kuti, Sohail Shah, I think we're gonna get just maybe Amit Kuti is being very, very nice, I must say. Did not push Sohail wider than he had to go, and he's kept in line, and now he's going to ride in the slipstream down this long stop from the straight. Amit Kuti is going to make that move down the inside. He's getting closer, he's gaining, he's looking, but he's just too far back. So is locking up in every single corner now, Arman. And Amit Kuti now is trying to look. Oh man, this time look at the lines Armani's driving. They're so different to what Sohail's taken. Very attacking now. Amit Kuti, he's going to make the move around the outside.
Remember, this is where he spun in the first lap while trying to make a move on the outside, but he's kept it together here.
Together, absolutely, he's kept together. And Sohail Shah just slams the door shut on him towards the end of that sequence of corners. Now he's got a little more breathing space. Sohail Shah, you can see how much he's pushing, locking up into every single corner that he's going through. Amit Kuti is trying to throw everything at him, but brilliant defending, driving by Sohail Shah. Right now, Sai Sanjay Arman has been brilliant, control this race from start to finish now. He's going to come around the final time to take the win here at the Nürburgring now. It's not going to be too much before he does.
Now heading back to the battle for second, I mean... Sohail looks a little comfortable right now, but it's the second half, the last sector where Amit's really strong, so let's see what happens. I mean, as they come through the fast left and right, the medium left and right-hander here, where the track just dips away from you, and then there's a long straight after that, where, the BMW should come on song there.
Well, the BMW looks like it's going to come on song, and Sai Sanjay now we're going to follow him around the last corner as he comes around and take victory for race number 3 here at the Nürburgring at UltimateE's esports Battle of the Stars. And is that a mistake? Sohail Shah bouncing around the corners. Oh,
is that Amit pitting?
That is Amit pitting. Here's Amit Kuti going in the pit. Is he trying to take the win because it's a shorter line through the pit lane? Is it possible to do so? No, it isn't.
No, they have did he have a drive-through?
Wonder if he did. Amit Kuti had a penalty at the end of it because he's taken a checkered flag. It hasn't dropped places yet because no one else is taking checkered flags behind him. Banu Taneja looks like he's going to finish up in a 4th place. Brilliantly driven by Rohit Raut now in the GT3 class, coming around the final corner on this Nürburgring circuit in that beautiful red Ferrari. He's going to take the win for the first time in his UltimateE career here at the M Sport Battle of the Stars. A brilliant win by Rohit Raut in the GT3 class. He's now going to be followed by Sabarno Majumdar, who's come out of nowhere now and is going to take second spot on the grid. Another podium, very consistent by Sabarno.
The Ferrari looks battered at the back. I mean, it's properly but he's fourth too. And you have Altair in third. He'd be hitting himself to making that mistake when he had the upper hand in Subarno. But now he's finished on that podium. Surya Prakash with his best finish in fourth, followed by
Good drive. Put the car on pole. A great recovery drive by Surya Prakash, I think, towards it. Bring that car back into fourth place. Akunuri Abhilash led the race for so long, and then unfortunately now in fifth place. Prasanna Rajan as well. That incident was so unfortunate. He had a podium position waiting for him, but very, very unfortunate. Avinash Gupta as well. Unfortunately out of the race in seventh place. Teji Shetty down there as well, the GTE classes. And Zachary, I wonder what happened to him today. Not very great showing by him. Down in 8th place, Gokul Tiwari in 9th. Sai Prithvi in the GTE categories, Varun Shah and Sai Saran, all with connectivity issues. It looks like that pretty much dropped out because that battle and then Arman between Sai Prithvi, Sai Sanjay, Sai Saran, and Amit Kuti up in the front we would have been in for a treat if the internet had stayed on, but unfortunately did not. And there we go. Arman, final results. Sanjay, Sohil Shah, Banu Taneja then takes third because Sohil Shah, Amit Kuti had to pit towards the end, so I wonder what happened towards the end there. What happened right there towards the end? Unfortunate. I'm trying to figure out what happened there towards the end. Very, very unfortunate with these guys. But we do have Sai Sanjay Arman in our interview room. Let's bring him on board here and see if we can have a quick word with him and see what he's got to say about the race. Sai, if you can hear us, welcome. Sai, if you can hear us, welcome. Great, congratulations, man! Great win today. Great win today for you. That was a brilliant race. Led it from start to front. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, it was a very calm race. I led from start. I had a good start, and then I just managed the pace. I wasn't really pushing, and then my pit stop was pretty good. So yeah, it helped me.
That was a good one, man, because you seemed to control the race all the way from the start. There was so much chaos going on behind you, but a great showing nevertheless. To be back there again. And I wonder now in the GT3. Anyway, so we thank you for joining us, Sai. It was great having you on board.
Yeah, thanks.
Sai, I have one question. Totally dominant. I think still, have we lost him or no?
We lost him. Sorry, Arman.
We've got Sohil with us now, who's had quite an entertaining race. Sohil.
Hi, what's up?
Little naughty, but some really good defending. Talk us through it.
So the naughty part of it came when I cut the track at the second last chicane, but I was pushed off wide actually, and I was given a 1 second slowdown, which I did serve later. Within the given time, so I think I'm within I hope I'm within the rules. I just hope I don't get a penalty, but luckily I finished over 20 seconds to Banu Teja, so I don't think you guys will screw me there, right?
A couple of incidents in the beginning of the race, Sohil, where you did go into a couple of people as well, gave them a little friendly tap on the back like Teji Shetty and co. I think the stewards are going to take a look at that for sure.
I hope not.
No, there are a couple of instances, but no. Apart from that, some really good defending. I mean, the Porsche looked strong in some areas, and the BM looked strong in others. And it was very close between you and Amit as well, and provided us a lot of entertainment. We're just wondering why he pitted at the end. So
So I think he must. So on the last lap on the second last chicane, there was a GT3 that spun. So that's where I went wide, and I believe Amit would have been at this edge of his point limit. So he must have also gone wide to avoid it, and must have received a penalty in the last corner.
Right. Anyway, good job, Soul. Another podium for now, and puts you in good shape for the championship again.
Thank you.
Yes, we've also got the winner of our GT3 category, Rohit Raut, with us here. Rohit, welcome. Congratulations as well. Great win today. Great win today, Rohit.
I think we've lost Rohit, unfortunately. He's back. He's back. Hey, Rohit.
Rohit, great win. Congratulations today in the GT3 class. Lots of chaos. Talk us through your race. I think we just lost him again.
I think Rohit's having some issues, with connections. I mean, just to let you all know, we're all doing this from our houses, and Rohit's sitting at home and just trying to join our commentary box, online. But Rohit, if you're with us, just talk us through your race. I mean, your first win, congratulations. Kept your nose clean while all the drama happened around you. Talk us through it. How do you feel?
It feels really great. I mean, as you mentioned, it is really my first win, and getting at this legendary track feels great. Talking about the incidents, there was one right at the beginning when the leader spun out at turn 2. So just sneak through that, and then was I just tried to keep away from all the incidents happening around and drive a clean race. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun.
That seems to have really paid off, Rohit. I mean, keeping a clean nose and just minding your own business and setting some consistent lap times has brought you away with a dominant win, really. So, congratulations, and I think it should help you with the championship as well, and could put you in good shape for the final round next tomorrow.
Yeah, actually the fingers are crossed. I was hoping to win at Okayama in round 1, but unfortunately I did a couple of mistakes and then that spoiled my race. But I was really hoping to do good today, and all the hard work paid off.
Good stuff, Rohit. Congratulations and good luck for tomorrow.
Good luck,
Thank
man.
you so much.
All right, there we go.
Yeah,
There we
we
have
have Surya Prakash, who's in the
No, we
box
got-
as well.
It's been an interesting one, Arman.
Yeah, Surya, the man of the moment, first pole position, shocked us all, and from there on, unfortunately made a little mistake that cost you the lead, but then fought back, had a little incident, and then came back to get your best finish of fourth. So a lot of emotions there, ups and downs. Talk us through it. Tell us first how you found the pace, and then from there on, talk us through every session.
Yeah, hi Arman and Anjan. So, I mean, after yesterday's race, there was a lot of grinding in the night, and yes, so poles. I mean, I always like Nürburgring, so I was just comfortable, and then pole was okay, and then turn one, I basically I just got overconfident. I think turn one, turn two. As soon as the start came, I got a little overconfident, put it on the grass, spun dead last again, tried coming around. And then somehow I knew I could lap faster, but then I think lap 12 or 11 had an incident with Sabarno where he just dive on the inside. I didn't cover the inside, so I mean I thought I gave him enough space, but nevertheless quite nice to be to be finishing in P4, and it's been a fun race.
Good stuff.
Yeah, because you shocked us all with that pole position lap.
So was I. I was shocked as well.
Hey, good stuff, and we'll see you back up there tomorrow.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. Let's see you guys then. All right.
All right, all the best, Surya.
Good day. Cheers. Good night.
All right, I think that's our interviews for today, ladies and gentlemen, with the winners and a couple of characters that we've had from the GTE and GT3 class. Great, Arman. Another evening where we finished up in this supreme little M Sport UltimateE Battle of the Stars. A great little entertaining race that we've had. Thank you for joining me, Arman, today. And tomorrow we will be back at the same time at Alton Park for round number 4, the final round, where the winners will be decided and they will eventually get to go from sim racing into the real racing world, where this is UltimateE and M Sports Battle of the Stars. And we will see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining us, and good night.
Good night.